Hello and welcome to Don We Now My Gay Opinions. I'm Donnie and these are my gay opinions. Today we'll be talking about Holly and Ivy on Hallmark. We start this movie with Mona from Pretty Little Liars, and she's moving to a new house, well, an old house that's dilapidated and falling apart. She just finished college with a major in library sciences, and she can't get a job with that degree anywhere. No libraries are hiring, so she just drives around town, living out of her car with all the books you can think of. So she moves to this new town where there's literally 4 libraries in town. I come from not a small town, and there's only 1 library in my community. But this town's small enough for people to come together for Christmas activities, but big enough to have 4 libraries, I guess. So here's Mona, looking for a job. All 4 libraries said no. So she's getting desperate and she doesn't even care about how she's gonna pay for this house anymore. She just needs to work at a library, I guess. She's twitching for books and the ones in her car ain't enough. So she tells the librarian, I need to work here, please. I don't care if it's voluntary basis, I just need to be at a library. So her and the librarian come up with an idea where she can do a book club once a week with kids and do arts and crafts and junk like that. We did this at my library near me, and they did puppet shows and stuff, which I really liked, and had people read. But if Mona from Pretty Little Liars wants to make an angel out of a toilet paper container with me, I wouldn't say no to that either. But she has the new volunteer position, and now she's moving into this dilapidated house. So she meets her neighbor, who is this woman who I've seen before, I think from some witch TV show, not Charmed and not The Secret Circle, but one of those, some Hallmark witch show, I think. Just research, she's Veronica's mom on Riverdale. No witches to be found, but, same thing. So she is Mona's neighbor, and she has 2 daughters, and the one daughter is all about her. She's obsessed, she's little, whatever. And then the older daughter is a little reserved, but she's reading this old series similar to Nancy Drew. It's called Little Abigail Solves Mysteries in the Road or something. I don't know, but it's a popular series. So when Mona finds out, she's like, oh, I have the first Little Abigail book in my car. You want it? So she gives it to the older daughter, and then she's obsessed as well. All it takes is trunk books to form bonds here, ladies and gentlemen. So I touched on it briefly, but the house is a piece of shit. So she goes to the local hardware store, and Jeremy Jordan is there. He is a local, something. He does something with houses. He builds houses. He's a contractor. He builds houses. Whatever. I don't remember what he does. Something with houses, but what he wants to do is build furniture. But his father and mother don't think that's an appropriate career. Houses is the market. I also think the family owns a car dealership. Maybe they don't own a car dealership. But let's just say they own both. They're high tootin' in this small town. So Mona from Pretty Little Liars and the neighbor mom hang out for coffee, and the mom collapses. So Mona's like, oh my God, you collapsed. Please let me babysit your kids. And the mom's like, fine, but you have to let me pay you. And then Mona's like, no, I can't do that. Please, it's my pleasure. And then the mom's like, you just told me you can't find a job and you're just volunteering at the library. And Mona's like, yeah, you're right. You can pay me. So now she has this new babysitting job with librarian stuff on the side for free. So then the next day, Mona goes next door for dinner, and the mom and the 2 daughters do a choreographed dance routine. It was bad. But, 2 of them were little girls, and the mom is whatever, collapsing in the street. So it's not Misty Copeland over here. So after dinner, the daughters leave the room. So then the mom admits that she had cancer a few times, and that based on all of the signs her body gives her, she thinks it's returning. So this clearly is when the movie takes a turn. I'm not going to make fun of this part. So the oldest daughter, Holly, wants power tools for Christmas. Holly's about 12 years old. I'm not judging, but I'm judging. So then Holly finishes book 1 of Little Susie Sings the Blues or whatever. So then she tells Mona, and Mona's like, oh, I have book 2 at my house. Come on over after dinner. So she takes her over to her house to get her Little Susie Sings the Blues book 2, The Mystery of the Old Shoe or something. And Holly sees Mona's vision board, and it's love, a dog, family, blah, 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 all of that. So then Jeremy Jordan comes over Mona's house, and they have like a little cute like coffee date. And she quotes Roald Dahl to him. I don't know if it's James and the Giant Peach or Matilda or what, but it's about being passionate about what you do. And Jeremy Jordan's like, yeah, you're right. I need to build furniture instead of building houses. And then she's like, yeah, and I need to work at a library. So then they're both in sync with these dreams. Roald Dahl just really inspired them. So then the neighbor and the girls come over to Mona's house to help decorate her tree. And it's here where Mona admits that she's obsessed with angel ornaments because when she was growing up, she was in foster care. So with each family she was with, she bought a new angel ornament to, I guess, like, make Christmas nice or something. And then the mom is like, oh, I didn't know you were in foster care. This is wonderful. She's like, why? And she said, well, I'm dying. So then Mona, right away, always with a plan, it's like, oh my God, if you die, I'll adopt the girls. It just makes the most sense. She's known these girls for about a week. So I wouldn't be quick to leave them in her care if I was the mother, but who am I? So then Mona goes to the adoption agency to fill out the paperwork. And the woman's like, great, the paperwork's great. Thank you for this. Now, we will be doing a background search. And Mona's like, okay, no problem. She's like, we'll look into your job. Mona's like, no, slightly a problem, but it's fine. And then she's like, and we'll do a house visit. And Mona almost craps her pants. And she's like, my house! Because as you may recall, it's a piece of shit. So then Mona goes to a Christmas festival, of course, with Jeremy Jordan. There's carolers there who are like, do you know in The Witches when Angelica Houston is like, Bruno, I have your chocolate here. And she like humps the air. These carolers are doing the same thing. It was very unsettling. They were like 17 years old. They remind me of the family from Welcome to Plathville. Like all blonde, Children of the Corn looking, humping the air and singing, unsoothed. So while that's happening, Mona tells Jeremy Jordan that she's going to adopt these kids when the mom dies and that she's going to take a day job to pay the bills and fix the house. And he gets pissed and he's like, what about Roald Dahl? And then they fight and then he leaves. And if that weren't enough, so now Mona's at the Christmas festival alone. When the librarian from the library comes up, she's like, aren't these carolers great? They're my grandchildren. Who's going to break it to her? No, they're not. They're actually frightening. And then Mona's like, yeah, they're great. And then she says, oh, I hate to be the one to tell you this. Then why are you doing it? You're not on the clock. You're at a Christmas festival. You don't have to do this now. But she says, we don't have enough hours at the library for you to volunteer anymore. We don't have time for you to volunteer anymore. That is shade. I'm going to tell it to everyone I ever hated. So then Mona's soon-to-be daughters are hanging out at her house with one of their friends. I guess they're just all fine that the adoption's going to take place. They're like, well, see you, Mom, later. I don't know. But the kids are hanging out with Mona and their friends are there. The friend is looking through Mona's books and she's like, oh my God, my grandmother would love this book, but she can't drive. So then Holly's like, wait, why don't you start a book on wheels program and just drive around in your old car with the books already in it and give people books? And Mona's like, that is a great idea. But then the call comes and Mona got the 9 to 5. So now she doesn't have time for books on wheels. So then it starts snowing and Jeremy Jordan shows up to Mona's house with a sleigh. So they get back together, they all sled down snowy hill or something. And then he's like, your house is still a piece of shit. Do you need help? It's what I do for a living. She's like, no, I don't. I don't want your help. And then he says, why won't you ever let people help you? You're on a deadline and you're not going to be able to adopt these kids if your house looks like shit. So then she's like, no, I'm fine. But then on Christmas Eve, Jeremy Jordan and the whole town shows up. And like a lady's like, I know how to fix wires. And the guy's like, I know how to plant a garden. And this lady's like, I know how to fix holes in the walls. And they all use their specialty to help Mona on Christmas Eve. And this is when I started crying and continued to cry for the next 20 minutes. So then Jeremy Jordan breaks it to his parents that he will not take over the family business and that he builds furniture. And they're like, oh, I love this furniture. Great for you. So they are approving of his dream. Then, to show that they're approving of the girlfriend, they buy Mona, car dealership, they buy Mona a van so she can do books on wheels. Great. Then, not so happy news, the mother passes, and we cut to a year in the future where Holly and Ivy are officially adopted by Mona. And then Jeremy Jordan shows Holly on Christmas Eve a ring, and he's like, I'm gonna propose. And then they have a dog, and the vision board has practically come to life. And I'm still crying. Now for the naughty and the nice of it. The naughty is, I hated those little creepy carolers, and I feel like they just needed conflict by firing a volunteer at the library. I've never heard of such things. The nice is, I really liked the cast. I thought they had chemistry, and I thought it was a touching story, and it made me cry for 20 minutes. Thank you for watching Dawn We Now My Gay Opinions. Be sure to tune in tomorrow when we watch Princess Switch 2, Switched Again on Netflix. Bye!